The woman with the long black hair in the long black dress. For some background, when I was a child I would sleepwalk a lot. I would talk to people in my sleep, and I would often scream in my sleep, only remembering glimpses of the night frights I had, which caused these things. My bedroom was at the end of the hallway upstairs, and my sister's bedroom was to the right of mine. Every day when the sun went down, I would always sprint past her bedroom door to the stairs, and run down them terrified I'd be chased. I felt this way because of dreams I had. Dreams of a figure in a black cloak, covering them from head to toe. In the dreams, I would see the figure standing in the blackness of my sister's bedroom, staring at me. One day as I walked past the room, I glanced in and my heart stopped as I saw the figure standing there, staring at me. The orange light from the street lamps shining around her as she stood there staring at me. I froze in place, my eyes wide as she stared into me. I felt coldness, until my sister's voice said, "What the fuck are you doing?" And I looked to my left to see her at the top of the stairs. I glanced back to the room and the figure was gone. Hence why I would sprint past every time it was dark. This was when I was ages 4 to 7. Then one day I had one last dream about the figure. It took the perspective of a parking lot CCTV, the grey image with the white noise fuzzing as a white line would skim past the image. The whole shebang. The cloaked figure approached the camera from afar, my heart pounding harder and harder until the figure reached the camera and pulled down her hood. This was when I discovered it was a woman with long black hair, a clean face, and dark beady eyes, and it wasn't a cloak at all, but a long black dress. Now, fast forward to me at age 15. My sister has since moved out, and I've spent the last 5 years living in her room now. Not a single day did I think of the woman with the long black hair since I saw her face in that dream. Me and my friend were at his house, joking around, watching Terminator. We were ridiculing the jumpy 80s music that we felt now aged, only dampened the intensity of the film. In front of me, and to his right were 2 large windows across the wall, showing outside into the street. To get to the front door, you had to walk past these 2 doors. Anyone coming and going, we saw. Suddenly, we heard what sounded like the front door open. It had that squelching sound a refrigerator has due to the plastic suction along the hinges. We both looked at each other, confused, and then we heard the door suddenly slam shut and a cold breeze rushed through the house. We both grabbed the closest thing to us. For me, hair straighteners from his mum's coffee table. For him, an empty bottle of Coke. With our new weapons, we walked through the doorway and down the corridor to the door. I peeked through the peephole and saw nothing. We turned and his mum left the room shouting at us, "Stop messing with the door, the pair of you." Even more confused, we said, "It wasn't us. Was it not you?" She scoffed and told us to quieten down before she returned to her bedroom. We walked back into the living room, completely freaked out. We both heard it, and so did his mum, so we weren't loopy. We wondered what had happened for nearly an hour before I walked to the front door, ready to leave, before hearing a noise come from outside. I looked through the peephole, and my friend flicked the light switch off. I turned back and gave him a funny look. "Don't do that," I remarked, before looking back to the peephole, and suddenly shooting back terrified, as I saw a blonde woman stood in the light of the porch light, staring at the peephole. I screamed and backed away. He jumped back confused and I took a breath before opening the door really quick. The woman stood there looking horrified. Then she asked, "Is Nikki there?" My friend's mum. We let her in, just a false scare. She wasn't a demon or a ghost. But she wasn't what was here an hour ago. We laughed it off and I went home. Later that night, I was on webcam with a girl I had recently started speaking to. We barely knew each other, really. All I knew was she was a religious nut and never lied about anything. And all she knew about me was I was famous at school for being the class clown. We talked and talked for a few hours before my grandmother texted me asking for my birth date. But not the date, the specific time I was born. I had no idea. So I walked downstairs to ask my dad. He looked over for a mere moment before answering, "I don't know, check the baby book." So I did. I found out and texted her back. I spoke to my dad for a few minutes before returning to my bedroom to talk to my female friend. I sat down and she looked up from her phone and casually mentioned, "Your mum was looking for you. Did you see her?" "What?" "Your mum. She walked in looking for you." "What do you mean?" She came in and looked around for a moment, and as she looked at the camera, I covered mine and looked down at my phone. I looked back up a few seconds later and she walked out. This was weird for a few reasons. 1. My mum wasn't home. She was in London for a business meeting. 2. I was with my dad downstairs, who was the only other person in the house. And 3. Because of her answer, when I then asked what she looked like. A woman with long black hair in a long black dress.